So, it's great to be here. I am super excited. You know, most of you I've never met, and you know, when you come to something like this, what's really cool about our business is that anybody who's ever become successful, whatever that means to them, has sat in the seat that you're sitting in. At every level, by themselves. First meeting, they had no idea about how the business worked. All those things. Every single person that's come through our business model has been in your seat. So, we got the first slide? Okay, great. So also, another couple things. I lived in D.C. area for decades. I live in Charleston, South Carolina now. And for me, you know, coming back here is, there's so much, you know, when you come back to where you raised your family and all those things, there's so much deep roots here. But ultimately, besides my family, my deep roots are the people that I'm in business with. And because the feeling, I mean, I'm so excited for what this team is doing. If I said to you, and I honestly, and you speak in different places and you say good things, but honestly, I mean, if you wanted to be at the right place at the right time, that's great, because, you know, Primerica is a $9 billion company. When I saw the company, it wasn't even a company that was listed. $9 billion. What we do and all those things are awesome, but truly, you guys are absolutely at the epicenter, and I don't have to say this. I know this to be true. You guys that are here, the newest person, you're at the epicenter, the very nexus, the beginning of the absolute best leadership team in the DC metropolitan area with Jack and Samira and their team. I mean it. That's so. Why? Because, you know, the system's great. What Primerica does is great. What we do for people is awesome. And I knew none of that. I was just like everybody else. I had no idea. Now, I want to leave you one other thing. You know what I promise you, you have never heard a company say these words or this phrase or praise this thing, ever. And you say, well, that's so weird that your company does that. I'm so excited for you that they do that. You know what it is? Our company, and that's been multiple years, but has always had a goal of the way they judged if the company did well, besides doing good for clients, right, is what they paid the leaders and the people that are working in this business. Last year, we paid over $1 billion, to people just like you. And we brag about it in our company. We talk about it in our company. One of the most amazing things I saw when I got here was they had leader sheets, but they were printed and sent out. This is back in the day. And they printed out what people made. Their incomes. I'm like, are you kidding me? Because you never know what people make or what they do. And that strategy of recognizing people, making them feel good, but compensating them unbelievable to do what we do for clients and help and build people, guys, you'll never see a company ever that does that. And that should get you really excited because whatever the company recognizes, that's what they do. And what does this company recognize? Compensating the people who help all the people we help. When I saw this business, that's where I was living. That was it. And that wasn't a basement, that was a cellar door, if you're confused. Really, literally, that's the door I walked into in Rockville Pike, Forest Avenue. I grew up we weren't poor, but we were lower class. And I don't mean lower class from how I felt about myself, I'm just saying financially. So my whole thing was totally different than Shaq and Samir, but it's similar what he's talking about. My road to Primerica at the time, A.O. Williams, was I had a retail job. I was putting myself through college. I was the only person in my family to ever go to college. And I just assumed that was the way to go. So I was working. And I was working at a doorman and, nightclubs, and I was also working in a retail, things like, I had no idea what to do. I just had to go. I just knew it was something to go. And I remember like it was yesterday. Just went check. Different. The guy, Ralph, I was working at a company called W. Bell, which is what used to be a small version of what kind of Best Buy is. All these stores in the DC area. And I went and I started working for 90 days, and after 90 days, he said, I'm going to give you a raise. I think, Bruce, I want to talk to you. I think you deserve a raise. And I was all excited. Sound familiar? Check. I mean, it's all excited. And the excitement was, wow, this will be good. And we went through the whole thing. He goes, don't tell anybody what I'm going to pay you. And he said, at the time, this is 1983. He said, okay, set up a piece of paper. We're going to give you 25 cents more an hour. There's pivotal moments in your life. I'm just telling you. You all have, if you haven't had them, you will have them, but you've had them, that a thought and an action change the direction of your life. This may be that for some of you in this room. Others might be just visiting and it was a good feeling and your time in your life, you're not ready. But for a few of you, and you know who you are, this is a pivotal moment. That pivotal moment, I looked at that, and I, with respect, gave back to him and said, I'll put my 2 weeks in. And he said, why? I said, I figured something out. I was 21. I said, no one will ever write the check bigger for me than I'll write for myself. And I never worked for somebody for the rest of my life. I'm 63. I'll feel 63 when I'm 60. Right? I've been in this business for 40 years. Millions and millions of dollars, millions and millions paid to the people that came on board when I was living there. Matter of fact, Christian David, when he came into business, and Raul brought him in as our friend, he went through that back door for his first interview. I know he thought he said, I thought I was getting robbed. I thought this was it. It was going. Now he said, why would you do that? Because that's where I was living. That's not where I was in my mind. Okay? I didn't judge where I was thinking about where I'm going. Because, the insulation's on the outside. You see that? That's probably why it was a little chilly on the inside there, right? You should put the insulation on the inside. After the picture, I realized that, right? And, but, pivotal moment. So my first thought to you is, it's not where you're at, it's where you're going. But you have to surround yourself with people that are going in a direction you want to go. I had a lot of friends, but they were all broke friends. They're still my friends, but they were broke. How do you know you have broke friends? When you go to pay a bill and no one has any money, but everybody ordered. Or they say, I only had a fry. Okay, it doesn't count. Okay? And by the way, that's fine. All that, I'm not judging them as people, but I realized, wow, I could only rise to the level that I'm around to help me understand more. So when I saw a pivotal moment is a friend, I was working at a nightclub, I was trying to start a business, and I was a fitness trainer. I love that field. I was very passionate about it. I have been my whole life. I love it. I loved it because if you ask 100 people, would they want to be in the best shape of their life? What would 100 people say? Yes. They don't want to work out, but they want it. So I would love to be in a situation where I could help people get what they wanted. Interesting enough, when I saw Primerica, it's the exact same thing. If you ask 100 people, would you like to be better off financially? What would 100 people say? Yeah. Absolutely. That was my connection with the fitness industry in Primerica. It was something everybody wanted, most didn't have, and there was no mentors for people that, especially middle America, the regular people, to get it. So that was, once again, these little pivotal moments. Another one was when Naomi walked into the club I was working, and I had just found out that Gold's Gym was in the area, and I thought franchises where it would go, and it was $200,000 for the franchise. I had $200. I was missing zeros. They're very important on the other side. Okay, they're zero, but it's really important. And I had no clue. My family tree was not there. I mean, there was nobody to fall back on. And so I had to start immediately thinking, what am I going to do somehow to get that $200,000? No clue. Naomi, I'd given her my card 2 weeks before. She goes, hey, Bruce, you still looking to make some extra money? I said, yeah, absolutely. She goes, I just saw something that I think you might be interested in. That's all she said to me. That's it. That conversation has made my family $40 million. That conversation. Now, I didn't know that was going to happen, but I'm saying there are pivotal moments in your life when you don't think about being worth making $40 million when you're living there. What you do is thinking about having a door that's straight up, kind of, right? Now, I mean, can I get a regular door? You don't think about, thoughts are like, I'd like to put more than $5 of gas in my car. That barely works. It'd be great one day to say, fill them up, right? Yeah, that would be awesome. So I get it. Anybody in Primerica gets it. So we were in this scenario. Naomi says that to me, and I said, sure, wait. She said, I'm in Wheaton, Maryland. She said, well, this is in Fairfax. Okay, I just moved in the area. I said, okay, so I drove out there, and I sat in a meeting. There's probably 15 people, and the guy was using a whiteboard, right? Now, understand technology, whiteboard was way up there compared to the chalkboard. Right, just a whiteboard you could draw on. It was, okay. So I show up there, and I sit there, and I heard some things about money, like Rule 72, that I'd never heard before. And I said, that is amazing, just from a consumer. And I was a broke consumer. But I was smart enough to know that if you don't know what happens to money, you lose it. Would you agree with me? I mean, just because you make it doesn't mean you keep it. I grew up in a family that made money, made something, but were always broke. Because they didn't understand how money worked. So I did. I said that thing, I said, oh my God, that's awesome. And she goes, that's what I do now. She goes, come back next week. I came back next week. And not one person that was sitting in that meeting came back. And I said, where's all the other people that were in the class? She goes, oh, they didn't make it. I said, what do you mean they didn't make it? They just didn't show up. Epiphany. If that is part of learning and winning, I'm going to kill this business. Because I knew from the gym business that unless you show up, nothing happens. And 99% of people don't go to the gym because they don't feel like it, not because they don't want to. They just don't feel like it, and they don't go. And in the gym business, you make all the money on the compensation for people who don't show, not the people who do, because they pay anyway. So the gym business was rigged because it didn't show up. I said, oh my God, that's it? They don't show? It's like, what's wrong with that? I knew how human beings were. And I said, and I kept showing up. And I showed up for 3 more weeks. And then when I showed up for 3 more weeks, Naomi, the person who hired me, recruited me, didn't show up. I'm like, what the heck? What happened to Naomi? Now, it wasn't Facebook, Instagram, you could track everybody down. When they were gone, they were gone. Okay? All right? If they didn't answer their phone and had an answering machine, it was it. She quit. And the person who had brought me, the RVP at the time, I'm 23, I didn't have a market, I didn't know anything, but I was showing up. On the inside, no one knew I was hungry, just like no one knows if you're hungry. No one knew, but I knew. So Ina gives me to a guy. His name was Joe Kerner. Gives me to him. Work with this guy. Joe lasts about 90 days. Then Joe quit. I said, wow, okay. Doesn't matter to me. I don't have a plan B. This is it. And I knew I could do it. I just had to get better. I had to improve. I had to work on it. I had to do everything in the gym. Just like the gym. You gotta get in the gym. You gotta hurt when you do it. You gotta add 2.5-pound weights. And one day it's gonna work out. Right? Doesn't take long, but you just gotta get in. Get your reps in, Bruce. Joe quits, and she gives me to a guy named Bob Page. Bob's nice. All these are nice people. Bob was 90 days, and then Bob quit. So 3 people had a lotto ticket. In the override business is how you get paid because we get compensated if we train and teach quality people. We get compensated for that, which also, if you're new, you've never heard the word override. I'd never heard of the word override. I didn't even know what that was, but they said that's when you teach and train people how to be successful. You get paid not by them, but by the company for helping them become proficient. I love that. It's like, are you kidding me? How many people can I train? As many as you can. They're going to pay them, and then they pay me. It doesn't come out of their money. I couldn't believe it. I'd never heard it. So Bob Page, Nolan Squid, those three had a lotto ticket that was worth, probably an override to them, 15, 20 million. 15, 20 million. So why did they quit? I can give you a million reasons, but I can guarantee you one reason they quit. Because they were absolutely sure that I was going to go kick ass. Because if they thought I was, guess what they'd have done? Stayed. And man, I took that personally. I said, wow. Because most of the people around you, they're nice, but they don't believe you're going to do it. Would you agree with that? Because you have no track record of running a successful business, becoming a multimillionaire. That, obviously, most people don't. I took that not as, for me personally, and people like me, it's fuel. I said, I'm going to prove them wrong. Either they're going to be right about me, or I'm going to be right about me. And it's sad when someone else's opinion about you is more stronger than what you believe you should be. But we all do it. It's a lot. And then I got around, so I started showing up. I kept getting better. I started being around people that were mentors, that I liked just for Shaq, that people look at. I appreciate everything you said, Shaq. I'm honored by that. I'm humbled by it. But Shaq's doing the same thing to his folks, Samir and the team. So that's how it works here. You're not following me. I'm following the direction they're going. And I like the direction. I like that people, when you saw them 20 years later, 40 years later, they're still excited about what they do. How many work with people that 5 years later they want to go growl off a cliff? You say, I want to be my boss. Look at him real closely, because that's going to be you. There ain't very fired up, excited people in most things. Would you agree? It's universal here. That's not just this meeting. Because they're fired about what they do for people, and they have, like Shaq was saying, control of their destiny. I can control this. I needed to control something, wouldn't you agree? Because whatever I was doing wasn't working, and I was smart enough to realize I'm where I'm at because of my thinking and what I'm around. I have to expand that. I didn't know how to do it. I came here and I learned immediately. What we did is awesome. The compensation is great. But the exposure to people that were like me, started like me, were just where I was, different from me, were able to grow and get better and improve and work on this. Oh man. You know, there's a difference in broke and poor. Broke is permanent. Poor is temporary. A lot of people are broke. That means they always think they're supposed to be that way. They don't want to be. Poor is, I don't have any money in my pocket right now. I wasn't broke, I was poor. I wasn't poor, I was broke. I was just broke. Poor is bad, because it's a mentality. Broke is temporary. That's what I'm saying, right? When you're poor, you think you're poor, you act poor, you walk, and I've been at those levels. Broke, I haven't figured it out yet. So 3 people with a lotto ticket, we all go on to, and finally Ina, she ends up not quitting, she just sold it, so I own myself. The best investment I've ever made. And, you know, primarily, so all that happened, but it started there. That's where it's, so I don't care where you, I will challenge and ask you, does anybody have a worse front door than that? Usually I don't get, yeah, me, I got, okay. So you couldn't be lower in an economic standpoint than I was. But it has nothing to do with where you're going. Nothing. The longest distance you'll ever travel is the 6 inches between your ears, right here. This is it. That's not mumbo jumbo, that's not talk. That's it. And then you get around, and most of us aren't trained in that area, and you get around people who you know have worked on themselves, And the unbelievable thing is if they can do it, I can do it because we're in the exact same system. Now, did I want to work? Yes, that was all true. So let me kick this because I'm gonna start there and we're gonna go quick now. But I want to explain something to you. The things I'm going to talk about towards the end are not to impress you. It's to impress upon you. I knew once I saw people that were kicking butt here and doing things, male, female, black, white, young, old, speak the language. Guess what they're like? They're all humans. I mean, this is a human business. 6 inches between your ears. Everybody has the same issues and challenges. So when I go through the stuff on the backside, don't act like he's just bragging. No, I'm telling you where you can go. And it's nice to know, but it's even better to know and have a vehicle to do it. Because the number one barrier to everybody figuring things out is they don't know what to do or they have no money. Would you agree? If they know what to do, they don't have any money. If they don't know what to do, then they definitely don't have any money and they don't know what to do. This business solved both of those with a system that was designed to pay people like me, like you, like whoever, to develop, train, help people to help clients. And as much as you can do it, do you understand you have a payroll? You have a payroll right now that's unlimited. You have a payroll that's unlimited. Well, I don't have anybody, Bruce. That's your job. But once you hire and train them, Primerica will pay them millions and pay you millions to pay them millions to help a client. My payroll in Primerica roughly is about $15 million a month. That's what the business and the team that we have has created. That's like it's almost $200 million a year. Right? That's big numbers, right? Guess what my payroll was there? Pretty low. Okay? So I didn't see them having $200 million. But the system said, if I trained them and I taught them and we built a system and we built an environment, and we built offices, hey, so the reason I'm compensated, all the great things that had happened in my life and my family's life, is because of the system that they allowed me to participate in. And I never had to go to the bank and say, I need more money because we're going to hire 500 more people. I could go hire 100 more people, train 25 of them, get them online, and Primerica cut them a check. Every time for 40 years. Not one time in 40 years have I sent, or our team has sent Primerica something from a client and they didn't send us our money. I hang out with people all the time that have big business now. They say, well, you must have a heck of an accounting problem. I said, I have zero accounting problem. They go, what do you mean? I said, zero. They said, yeah, but you got, how many? I said, I've got probably 1,800, 2,000 agents. What do you? I said, the system pays them. It's already built in. My job is to develop and help them and build them and work with them and find them. And go through people to find the ones that are looking for us. But they go, and I literally have been in country clubs all over the world, nice places. When what do you do? I smile. Does he really want to know? And they go, yeah. Because they don't understand it. And they, wait a minute, Bruce, because they say, Bruce, I see you. You seem to have a lot of freedom. And I'm completely free. I didn't come here for the money. I came for the money and the freedom so I could do with what I want, when I want, with who I want, with the people I love. Because I saw other people doing that. Not nice things and all that, but you care about it. So they say, well, wow, you must have a lot of legal issues. I said, no, not really, I have none. And they go, what do you mean? I said, there's a home office with 3,000 people that has attorneys, and they make sure that all the things, the contracts are all done. You have to pay for that? No. I am part of the people that build a business that pays them. It's already built in. They can't believe it. Literally, people that have money, when they understand our business, can't believe our system. Because it's so clean, so streamlined, and I'm with people, I'm 60, but I could do what I want whenever I wanted for the last 20 years. And I'd be with those folks, and they were hitters. They were hitters. Law firms, they owned them. See ya. But guess what they were doing every day? Busting their asses. I don't have nothing against hard work. I choose to work, not have to work. Makes sense, right? It's different. So when you're exposed to, when I first got in, everybody said to me, that doesn't work. That'll never work. They'd never been to an op meeting. They'd never seen anything. They just said that wouldn't work. So what I understand they were saying, Bruce, you're not going to do that. They'll never pay you that much money. That's what they're saying. Because if they said, oh, Bruce, I know you're going to be awesome. You're going to make so much money. You're going to make $100,000. That's not what they said to me. Because they saw me as they thought I was. Or that as you are. I never paid attention to that. So, anyway, short time. You know, where was I with that? What did I just say before that? I want to make sure I stay on my train of thought. What was that? Right before we went there. What was it?
Last thing you said was the longest distance you ever traveled 6 inches before.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, that's what we just covered 6 inches right there. All right, and it's true. Okay. So once again, look, I got 40 years. I can go. I got a timer. Okay, this is not 40. But by the way, it's 40 years of doing. Like if you say I've been in the gym for 40 years. Guess what you've been doing in the gym for 40 years? The weights are the same, but you're different. Would you agree? It's boring. It's not boring because it's changing my body, and that's always cool. Just like this is always changing your mind. It's helping you get better, grow. The sidebar to this, if you had no kids and I didn't, I wasn't married, what the thinking here does in helping your kids really become able to do things, not just do things, but think things they hadn't been able to think, is mind-blowing. Because everything we teach is right here. Scary. It's a byproduct. It helps you just better with humans because you learn how to deal with humans. You say, I deal with humans all the time. No, but you don't like it. Because humans are very unpredictable, wouldn't you agree? You have no idea what people are thinking. This teaches you how to do. It's amazing from a self-improvement standpoint. Mind-blowing. So, we're going to start with that. So let's quick. We're going to hit this now. That was my plan. I'm not kidding. I've used this slide for 30 years, 35 years. I'm the frog, and I'm choking out mediocrity and being average and ordinary. I refuse to be swallowed by the average and ordinary. I just didn't do it. And once again, every one of my friends have ever said it won't work. For everybody. You know, I got the answer for you for that when somebody says that. Well, that doesn't work. Although I've heard about that thing. I've heard somebody. It's really simple. It's one word. All you have to say is why. And what they'll say is, well, that stuff never works. I understand, but why? And then they say, well, those things, these people, I'm not interested. That's a pyramid. I said, well, why do you say that? And you know what they say? Here's what they have. They're confusing thoughts with facts. Because you have a thought doesn't make it a fact. Would you agree with me on that? How many thoughts do you have about yourself every day that's not a fact, but you have the thoughts? And usually those thoughts are negative, by the way. Usually. So people, when you're talking to them, it's thoughts, man. That's what they got. And all you have to do, dig a little bit, you realize, guess what you realize? They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Yet they want to give you advice on you changing your life. They might be loving doing it. It might be the parents. It might be... but the fact is, if they could get you to not do it, then guess what that proves? It didn't work. But what if you do it? Oh, you just proved to them that it did work. And after I started making lots of money, I had friends I'd meet, and they'd come back to me and say, oh, Bruce, you still doing that Primerica thing? I'd laugh, said, you mean that thing that paid me $1 million last year? Yeah, I'm still doing that. They go, oh, I just always knew you would do it. Liar! I met Naomi 7 years after we broke up, okay? She never got 7 years later. And we were at a bar, Clyde's, in Tyson's Corner, and I just happened to walk in, and she was there. Bruce, Naomi. I know where she went. I had no clue, right? But it's like, and come find out she went to do timeshares and, at the beach or something, whatever. And she goes, wow, we talked. She goes, are you still doing that A. Williams thing? And I said, oh, Naomi, you mean, oh, yeah. I said, Naomi, if you hadn't quit, you'd be getting paid about $30,000 a month right now. Literally, that's the truth. We're at the bar. She started, honestly, like a cartoon, she started to lose color. She was dark-skinned. Started to go, okay? It's like draining the blood. She turned to the bartender and ordered a double Grand Marnier. And the hostess called me. She slung it, boom. And I turn around and I said, I'll be right. She was gone. You think she made a mistake? You think she knows she made a mistake? Do I wish she hadn't made a mistake? Sure. I don't care who overrides me, right? I'd rather override me, but I get it. That's our system. And that's one of those things say, wow, what if I would listen to others who didn't see and feel what I felt about this thing? Don't quit. Don't give up. Like going to the gym. You're going to be sore in the beginning. If you go to the gym, you haven't ever worked out, what's 90 days look like? And 90 days, people say, wow, something's different. What do they say after the first week? Not a thing. How do you feel after the first week going to the gym? It's sore. And you don't see anything for a while. That's our business a lot of times. You're just learning a new language. You're learning a new thing. And I doubted me sometimes. But I never doubted the system because I saw it working. I never doubted the incomes because I saw people doing it. And I said, if they do it, I do it. And you get up, pick yourself up, have a pity party, invite yourself to it, and then get back to the meeting. I never missed a meeting for 7 years from the day I walked into a meeting. Think about that. Now why? Because one thing I could do is what? Show up. I knew that. So I just never missed. I was afraid I was going to blow it. Next, please. Okay. Here's the deal. There's a theory. In the early years, and sacrifices are high. That means you're going to pay a bigger price in the beginning. Please say, why? Any business you start, any business, a startup, it's in the beginning. In the beginning. You spend a lot of effort. Does that make sense? Most startups get their butts kicked for 3 years. No one busts their chops about that. Oh, sorry. Oh, got it. Thank you. I was like, we're still there. Okay. Most people quit during the early and tough times. Do you agree? Yeah. It's called a startup. Let me help you with something. You're a startup. Primerica is not a startup. Shaq and Samir and the leadership here is not a startup. You're a startup. Why? Because you're starting up. Now, what you don't need is money because the company will do it. But you have to have a startup mentality. Front and loaded. Every business. You never go to a business owner who's open 2 weeks and say, you making a lot of money? Would you say that? Of course not. Even a year, would you say, you're going to a startup company, just get started. They're in the incubation stage. They're busting their chops. They're working all the time. You guys rich yet? No one ever says that to them, but they'll say it to you. Hey, Bruce, you're a millionaire yet? I was like, grind my teeth, smile face. How you doing? Unbelievable, man. And I was always unbelievable. One way or the other, it's unbelievable. Bad or good, it didn't matter, but it's going to be unbelievable, right? I mean, literally, I had no problem with that. Most people quit during the early times. In the early years, cash flow and immediate returns are low. So when you're doing it, you're not going to get a return normally like you would hours at a job. But you front load every business. And why don't people know that? Because they've never started a business. Or they never succeeded as a business. When I was a doorman, I was going there, the only people that said to me, Bruce, you need to go for it, was the guy that owned 5 restaurants. And I said, Gus, I'm doing this thing, what do you think? He goes, what do you think? I think there's something here. I think I can work. He listens to me, he goes, Bruce, it's much more important what you think. If people tell you don't, that's a reason too. And I'm like, this guy was like the man. But he had done it. You follow what I'm saying? I'm not saying my parents didn't love me, but they'd never done something like this. And most of you have never done it either, right? So, as your business skills grow, cash flow increases. There's where you build and you start to live the dream, but the beginning is you survive until you can thrive. You have to survive until you can thrive. And when you survive, guess what you can do? Teach others how to survive. Because you're not buying a franchise, you're earning one. It's a massive difference. Because if I said it's 200,000 new Primerica, how many would have done your IBA? So it's free. Oh no, it's not free. No. To be successful is never free. You front end it, and you do it along the way, and you make money as you grow. You mentor. So pay the price for the first 3 to 5 years. So phase 1 is underpay. I don't mean you're not, I just mean you have to understand you're learning the skills. You get paid along the way. You try to make money. You mess it up. You figure it out. And it could be for some people 6 months. It could be 12 months. For some people, it might be 3 months. But pretty much for me, that was about a year that I was underpaid, which means I could have made more outside. But I couldn't ever do something unbelievable outside. But I accepted that because I knew I was getting better. Second phase is you're paid what you're worth. You start to replace your income and more. Like you can do a little bit more, 25. Awesome. Now you're really, that's beyond survival. But then the third phase is 5 to 7 years, you're in the overpaid stage or the override stage. Do me a favor, say override. Override. Wow. Say it again. Override. You guys have never gotten that. See, when I say override, I say override. See, you hear the word, but you have no idea what it means. When you start to get compensated for not being there, but helping people understand it and do it, and using the system and leveraging it, you will say, oh, I got some overrides today. That's called freedom. That's called building a business. Because you're getting paid for nothing. You're trying to, you hire, how many of you heard? Well, if you're hiring people and that's how you get paid. They have no idea what we do. 99% of the people you talk to are going to ask you to say things. They have no idea what we do, and they have never saw it in person. They've never talked to anybody about it. So, now look carefully. That coach is calling the play. Would you agree?
Yeah.
But sometimes, next one, you need new players. Okay, would you agree? Because I got in, I hired 5 or 6 people, 10 people, and I thought, we're all going to do it, they're going to do it. And I realized not everybody had the drive I had. Nobody wanted to, some were comfortable life. That's why you got to recruit. Not to go recruit, it's because you don't know who's going to do it. But if you go through enough, you don't find them, they find you. So we say this word recruit, people get confused with. It's not every company recruits, would you agree? Every sports team recruits, wouldn't you agree? Every church recruits, wouldn't you agree? Why? Because that's how you build something. Next. You got to find a dream team. You got to search, but you got to find a dream. And that was my dream team. Now, if we start from the bottom, you see we just had problems with the right socks. We're on our way to a fast start school, as you see the light here. I'm not saying it's a perfect dream team, I'm saying it was my dream team. But those are my first 2 Foxhole guys. Christian David, Raul Cuervo. I had dinner with Raul last night, I talk to Christian all the time. Christian became a multi-millionaire. Coming from that. Why? Because of me? No, I was cutting the path because on the inside, Christian wanted to be somebody. And it took him a lot more than 18 months. Raul, same exact scenario, years in business. Great friends. So, can you think you might be able to find a team that looks like that? I mean, intimidated, like, wow, I don't know if I could ever find 2 sharper jokers, right? And me, the third, right? So, all right, so I go from 7, 8 years from the dungeon apartment to the custom home we built in Potomac on 3 acres, horse farm. That's where I built our first custom home. And when we built that house, on the other side of that house through the woods, this on River Road, I didn't know it, but when I went back and we're looking at the site plan, the home 2 blocks over that I had driven when I was 19 years old, and I was dating my wife, and she worked at that house as an art gallery inside there, and I drove down River Road and said, how in the world can people ever live like this? How do they do it? Are they born with it? Is it inherited? I had no idea. 7, 8 years later, I'm building a house overlooking that thought. It's funny how things work out, right? I mean, it's just life's funny. Not a plan. So I go from that to 10,000 square feet house. Overlooking that, that's my front yard. Because, Bruce, you're so good. I just explained to you where I came from. Is the system was so damn good, it allowed a guy like me, Czech, Samir, all the leaders in this room, to attack something with everything they had. I didn't have a plan B. I didn't know what direction I was going. I knew exactly where I was coming from, which is broken wool. So front yard. So then I get that and I said, I like houses. That was our beach house. Why not have them? I started collecting. Why? Because you could. Limos, fun, taking people out. That was our mountain house. All at the same time, by the way. Now, listen, he's trying to brag. No, you saw where I started. You don't need all that. I didn't think I needed it, but I like it. I mean, when you start doing crap, you like it. And you say, well, I don't know if I'll ever. Okay, wait till things change, right? Now, I was building a business, saving money, all these things. Then I don't know, I just wanted a golf place. Some place to golf on the water. So that's, so somehow, okay. So, what does that tell you? If I go from the cellar to that, then we started traveling with my daughters. I have 3 daughters. We traveled. I love traveling. And we started doing things. When I traveled growing up, we got in the car, we did not stop, we slept in the car at a rest stop, and we made it to Grandma's house. We sat for a week, then we got back in the car, and we came back to the house. No sandwiches, cooler, no stopping. I wished for a stop, not a rest stop, okay? I said, can we just stay at the hotel? We don't need a hotel. But we were broke. Bologna sandwiches, cooler, go. So I remembered that. I didn't begrudge it. I didn't hate my parents. But I said, one day, when I have kids, we're going to do some amazing things. Because I want to do it. And so, my daughter having her first massage just was, champagne, cruises, boats. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Overlooking, seeing the sunrise in Hawaii. Just beaches. I think we've been to Hawaii 25 times, something like that, 30 hours. Wait a second. Go back. Hiking in Ireland. My 2 daughters right there said to me, Dad, we said at the time, they go, I think we're going to Ireland. I said, really? Well, let's have a group or something. They go, by ourselves. I said, what the hell? You're not going to Ireland by yourself. They're 18 and 17. And I said, you're not going to Ireland by themselves. They go, okay, why don't you come with us? Boom, flight was booked, and we hiked Ireland for the next 9 days. Why? As I had time, I had money, people I love, let's go. The system did that. My thinking got it. So we hiked Ireland, Dingle Coast, and so when we're hiking, it's unbelievable. Here's what we did. We would go from bed to breakfast. So, because when I travel with my kids, I like to be in with the people. We can do 4-star, 5-star, 6-star, but I like to be around the real people of places I'm visiting. So we hiked the whole trail, and every 8 miles, 9 miles, the car would bring our bags to the next mom and pop bed and breakfast. It was awesome. They cooked for us. We talked to them for the next 8 days. It was amazing. I had such a good time. I called my wife because she was being there. I said, Kat, you need to go to London. It's close. The kids are going to meet you in London, and you spend the next week in London with them. Right? It's why? Because you can. Go ahead. Okay. That's Jeff. Okay. Costa Rica, houses, renting places, traveling. What do you like to do? What's stopping you? Time and money. My advice, learning what I've known, is get in something that can compensate you out 5 to 7 years. Don't look at where you're at. Learn how to survive. Learn how to fight. And then move up. It's not where you are, it's where you're going. And all you have to know is other people that are doing what you've done won. I saw that. I saw that forever. So I knew it. I just had to do it. Chefs. We had so many great chefs cook for us at different places. I never had a chef. I had Chef Boyardee. Not chefs. Bruce, why do you do that? It seems it's awesome. Are you kidding me? I don't want that. No, you do it for you like, wow, this is great. I'm not saying you can't do it, I can't do it. I'm just telling you, the world's out there. Where did I start? What was the picture? The cellar. Costa Rica, doing all this stuff, dolphins, and my daughter, she said, got her first car. My parents never owned a car that wasn't repossessed. I'm not kidding. I'm not. I bought my first car when I was 15 and my dad stole it. I'm not kidding. That's the absolute truth. I bought it when I was 15. I drove myself to the driver's license test and just faked that my mom was outside and didn't know how to drive. 16, I got my first car. You know why? Because we never had one. And I had to bum a ride since I can never remember to get any place to go any place. And it was so inside me that one day, so my daughter, so we walk out of the country club, and which I'd never been part of a country club. I knew it was to be a country club. They go, hey, it's pretty nice. You know, don't fight it. I mean, it's like, it's not bad, right, Bruce? So we walk out the country club, and those keys to that car, and the valet brought her around, I threw her the keys. She goes, I can drive? I said, no, that's yours. And she started shaking. It was funny. They're great kids. So it was like, you know, it's like, and my other two daughters who were watching were dancing and screaming. I'm like, why are they so excited? And then I realized, oh, I just showed them what they got coming. Right? Right? I'm like, damn, I should have done this inside. And because that's what they were saying. We're going to get a car too. Right? And so that was, why? Because, you're spoiling them? No, I'm giving them options I never had. Spoiling kids is when you let them like mess up here in their mind, you work with. Giving them options you don't have and didn't have, good things make good people better. You go, well, all these things make you better. No, it doesn't make you bad, it makes you better. Real quick, we'll finish this up. Travel, Italy, Taj Mahal. Wait, go back there. Taj Mahal. That's not Photoshop. Why are they going to Taj Mahal? Because we could. We wanted to. My kids were there already. Right? I mean, so it's like, you're so this? No. Remember where I came from? Cellar, a little town in Palaca, Florida, that wasn't hell, but you could see hell from it. Right? I mean, it wasn't like, it was nothing. What's that? I think it's a Great Wall of China. Well, it's good. Well, I've never been to the Great Wall of China. We'll go. Tibet. Tibet, the oldest monastery in Tibet. Never. He's like, okay. Reserves in Thailand. Amsterdam. Where do you want to go? Machu Picchu. Kick that back one second. Machu Picchu. People said, Machu Picchu. I said, have you been? Oh, no, why not? Why not? Money and time. Money and time. You solve those two, you solve it. Guess what I know? Guess what we know? You work this, and you work it hard, and you work it for an intense period of time, not 90 days, you got to start it, and you can either work like a dog for 5 to 7 years in something that you own and you have a chance to control, or you can be treated like a dog for 25 to 30 in somebody else's thing. It is a choice. Machu Picchu, man. I just think, orphanages. I mean, look, good things for people. Coliseum, what? Pick it. Or how did I travel? Rest stop. Bologna sandwiches. Whatever. Okay, so we got. Okay, that's good. All right. Napa Valley, wherever the heck you want to go. I think we kicked a couple more in here. I think we got any more in there. Yep. You know the other ones. Oh, so that's my daughters and wife now. And when you call me, people say, they call me, and now people ask me, Bruce, where are you? Right? Which is fun. And if I'm out of the country, which is fun, by the way, I'm out of the country, and what does Primerica compensate me? Overrides. How much? $5,000 a day, whether I open my eyes or not. Every day, all the time, $5,000 a day. Every day. What if I don't use it? They still send me more. Seriously. Why? Because you're so smart? No, because I have a business that other people are being compensated because my payroll is $15 million a month. That I don't have to go to the bank and ask for it, it's already paid. So the more I help them, which helps the clients, the more I get paid. What was the challenge at the beginning? I didn't know what to do and I had nobody. And you got to go through a lot to figure out who the ones that want this business. That's not the problem. The problem is here. If you call me, what's the last slide? If you call me, that's where you'll find me, somewhere on the beach, somewhere in the world. That's our fun thing, to go somewhere on the beach. It could be wherever. So you call me, where are you at? I'm usually by the water. There might be something in my hand that I'm cool, something that I'm sipping on. Just say it. You don't have to do it all the time. But that, if you're young, it doesn't matter. You have a chance to design your life. Gosh. I am so grateful to be in business with Shaq Samir and this leadership team because it fires me up to be around fired up people. It fires you up to be around people that are building something, growing something, creating amazing leaders. Going on, and what Sheila's doing here, but I go through the names, I don't want to miss anybody, right? What Jen has done, I mean, what the leadership has done, it's the beginning. So, you're at the right place at the right time. All of you. Whether you recognize that, I don't know. But this is a control point in your life. You are sitting at a spot where we'll see. If you're tired, you can't figure it out, that guy's full of crap, I got you. Right? I don't believe a word of that guy said, awesome. Guess what they're going to send me tomorrow, whether you believe it or not? $5,000. Okay. So I love you, care. I hope the best for you, but my $5,000's coming in every day. All right? So all the best. Thank you guys.